Leeds United are in a very, very complicated situation with one of their players at the moment, specifically a player that is away on international duty still. But we'll get into more details on all of that in a minute. First of all, yes, I look very, very tired. I've just finished a work shift and it is currently 4:48 in the morning. My apologies. I wanted to get a video out a little bit earlier, but craziness happened with work, so here we are. And also, if you haven't yet, subscribe because that helps to add to the amount that I'm giving to Prostate Cancer UK on the day of the charity match. If you've not got a ticket to the charity match yet, there's a link down below. All your favourite Leeds creators, 20th of July, John Shell Centre for Sport. You've heard this bit before. Anyway, gonna hop into the main bit of news because I want to get this recording done relatively sharpish because I am exhausted. It's specifically referring to Matteo Joseph, who has had a little bit more of a say on his future as to what is going to be happening with him next season and going forwards. So, as we all know, he's currently on under 21s duty with Spain at the European Championships. Interestingly, like youth tournaments at the moment are getting a greater level of prestige amongst like various national teams. I think it's because it sort of shows, look, our Wonder Kids are the best Wonder Kids. But for some reason, a lot of like players that can very clearly make senior squads are just being filtered into the 21s. You've seen it a bit with England recently as well. I'm not saying that's the case with Matteo Joseph, but it's kind of interesting how they've got such an emphasis right now. But he's had a little bit of a word on what is going to happen with his future. We all know that he's not necessarily going to want to stay at Leeds next season, especially if he's just going to be a backup. So, in an interview recently, he said, let's find it very specifically. We achieved the goal as a team, but I personally have been left wanting to participate more in the final stretch of the season. And I'll be completely honest with you, he's fair enough to feel that. I completely understand it. I'll have a quick look at what his minutes were like towards the end of last season, just to sort of like take the landing on the point. Keep in mind though, in terms of goal scoring, he wasn't fantastic. We know this. He scored 3 all season and he played 39 games of football. It's not fantastic. Yeah, he didn't start in the league since Borough last December, which is a long, long time. And the only time that he got more than 30 minutes in the league since then was. No, hold on, he started against Coventry, which was also in December. Was it? No, can I read? Yes, no, yes. Derby, which was also in December. But he only got more than 30 minutes once that wasn't that in 2025, which is a little bit insane. So he's going to want significantly more football. He then went on to say, I think I need more participation to continue developing as a soccer player, which again, completely fair. You need minutes to do better, as we saw with Charlie Cresswell, because he went away, he got some minutes, and now there's potential that he'll be sold again, with Leeds having a 15% sell on clause, which I will absolutely take. No complaints about that. But he continued. The season's just ended and you have to stop to evaluate. We've been promoted to the Premier League. We'll see what the club says, but I want to play more to keep growing. For me, this says that he's very, very firm in this belief that he's going to get some football next season, which says that no matter what the club says in terms of, yeah, you'll be playing at Leeds United, if they don't say that, he's probably going to be elsewhere next season. They went on to say, I'm very focused on the tournament and we'll have to talk to Leeds with whom I haven't yet. Not the most promising of signs. You think that's maybe a conversation that you would have at an earlier point, but apparently not. Then whatever happens will happen, which is certainly the best thing for everyone. I'll be ready for the opportunities they give me wherever they may be. Now, a couple of things to consider with this. One, Matteo Joseph's future next season is not at Leeds United. You got to look at the sort of lineup of attacking options we've got going into next season. And you've got Patrick Bamford, who a lot of people will say that he's not necessarily better than Matteo Joseph. I think on a technical level he is. On a fitness level he isn't. But that's by the by. Then you got Joel Piroux, who has proven himself last season to be a better forward than Matteo Joseph right now. And then you've got Lucas Nemanja, who is a better forward than Matteo Joseph. A lot of people will be like, well, he's consistently injured. Sure, maybe he is. But he still scored more consistently than Matteo Joseph last season, in spite of all of those injuries. So there's a lot of ways to sort of look at that and say, well, Matteo is sliding down the pecking order and we're probably going to be signing another number 9 anyway for a fairly significant chunk of money. So the question is, where does he fit in? What happens with him next? And I'll be completely honest with you, he's not going to be at Leeds United next season. This is known, but I don't know whether I lean towards a loan or a sale. So loan, for example, I don't see Real Betis wanting to loan him. Because the main thing about having Mateo Joseph right now is he's got a hell of a lot of potential, and you don't want to be the club that spends a season extracting that potential only to then immediately lose the player. We saw that when we had Ben White on loan. We're like, cool, we got him promoted, let's keep him. Oh, he's just staying at Brighton. Okay. Like you don't want to be in that situation. So I can see Real Betis not wanting to deliberately put themselves in that place, because we've heard that Betis probably put in a bid for Mateo Joseph as well. So I don't know. I think if we're looking for a loan destination, it's almost certainly going to be the Championship or the lower end of La Liga or bottom half Bundesliga or lower end of Liga. It's not going to be a La Liga side that are in relatively decent contention like a Betis, because they are going to be fairly intelligent with the players they sign. They're not going to want to do loans, they're going to want to own their assets, which makes sense. The question is Mateo worth keeping around? I want to say yes because I like to believe in the players that Leeds United have around right now, but assume we get £8 million for him, you can amortise that over 5 years and you can effectively buy £40 million worth of player. That's where the sort of payoff starts to come in. Well, you're not amortizing that, you're amortizing the 40 million, but you know what I mean. It gets complex. In terms of, is anyone making a wrong decision here? I think for Mateo, it's the right choice. He needs minutes, he needs to develop. For Leeds United, I think it's the right choice. There's no use having a player that isn't developing sat on your bench waiting for Nemecha and Piru and extra number 9 and potentially Bamford to all be injured at the same time. And to a further degree, I wouldn't blame any other club for wanting to sign him, because there's very clearly something there. It's just a question of, is there something there for Leeds right now, or is the money more valuable to us? And I think that's a fairly important question for us to answer. Ideally, fairly shortly. We're not going to find out until the end of the under 21 Euros. This is known. But the sooner we know, the better. And that'll sort of guide us. But at the end of the day, that's all what I think. Personally, I think loan out to the Championship and then see next summer, just because it might increase his value. But I want to know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe if you're not yet. You can also become a channel member. That's also massively appreciated. And yeah, the sun has now risen, and I've not gone to bed yet, so I'm going to go and do that now. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.